Hey, perfect. Nice to meet you. I'm Alex. How you doing?
How you doing, Alex?
I'm just
Violent
gonna.
Breed. Tell me a little bit about your first single, "Awake," which was a very powerful song, and tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I guess when we decided to put out a song, I kind of trusted the expertise of Brian's kind of let's say earworms for like picking like a good song to put out. And I think we just wanted to put out something that was kind of honest, had a big impact, and I think it has also like the meaning behind it's quite good. It's about just being awake to kind of what's going around you in the world today. And we're not trying to be a political band or by any means, but it's just trying to be, I guess, kind of out there. And I think it was the best introduction to kind of put Violet Breed on the map. A
Right,
hard-hitting traditional rock song with a good old catchy chorus. I like to think.
right, yeah. Now the new track video, 10 years sober. Tell
Yes.
me a little bit about that because that's a kind of a deep subject.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing for me to say about that song is I think when we come up with the idea and we're discussing kind of like what the song's going to be about, it's not got like the traditional themes of like, alcohol use or drugs. It's kind of like got a different spin on things. It's like being at peace within yourself, like in a mental state of mind. And I don't think anybody's really done something like that before. So it was kind of nice to put a different spin on what, sober could be or sobriety could be. And it's just like finding an inner peace. And it comes across really well. It's like finding an inner peace to be the best version of yourself so you can be there for others. And it sounds odd, but it kind of works in the song.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, how'd you hook up with Brian Weed of Tesla?
So I was in a band all before COVID, and Brian used to kind of help this project that I was in with like songwriting and like day-to-day advice and stuff. And then COVID hit, world comes to an end, and that project kind of just fizzled out. And I was still writing songs and keeping in contact with him, and he just said, "Look, if you want, I love what you're doing. Why don't we collab and do something together?" And I was like, that sounds amazing. And with technology that we've got today, like how we're talking, it's just so
Right.
easy. You can do
Yeah.
everything in your bedroom, which is how we operate. And we have a really good writing process. And we also have the um, opportunities where Brian can call upon any sort of musician, like someone like Dave Rude, to come play guitar from
Right.
Tesla. And it's a wonderful opportunity. And that's something that I couldn't really pass up. So it's been really cool.
Cool, 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 cool. Um, Tell me some of your influence because I, was reading a little bit about Freddie Mercury and other bands. Tell me a little bit about who you like and why.
Well, I can see there's a Freddie Mercury and a Darth Vader right behind you just there,
Yeah,
which is just no, that's really cool. I mean, so it's I kind of look at it in two ways. In terms of a singing and a performance aspect, I'm all Freddie Mercury, all Queen. Like nobody's ever come along and sung songs like that man
right,
ever since. So not I'm not comparing myself to him in any way, but if there's any sort of person I try and base how I'm gonna sing a song and how I'm going to perform a song 100%. And I love those early Queen records, that sort of raw intensity and that I love it all.
right.
But
Yeah.
in terms of the songwriting aspect, I think the main connection between me and Brian has always been Paul McCartney. So
Uh-huh.
when he's over here with me visiting and stuff, and we hang out, we love those sort of early Wings records and the early Paul McCartney records like Wildlife and Ram.
Right.
And even though they're popular now, at the time they were kind of a bit misconceived and maybe not taken as seriously. But if you actually studied the songwriting and how those early McCartney records are structured, it's amazing. So we kind of take pieces from, from Queen,
Right.
Beatles, McCartney, and then Brian obviously brings that natural hard rock sound into it as well. So it's a really cool collaboration of sounds.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that picture of Freddie Mercury, I took that at Madison Square Garden in
Oh,
New York
wow.
because I'm a photographer. Well, I was a photographer for a UK magazine called Metal Forces, and they sent
Oh,
me all over the place, and I got lucky, and they picked me to go photograph Queen at the Garden. So that's a highlight.
1980?
That's a highlight.
1980? Was it a
Yep.
1980 on the game
Yes,
tour?
1980.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, definitely, definitely. So I was watching some videos of you in like a bar type scene and stuff like that, doing like Fleetwood Mac and different stuff. You do that to keep up your chops or
Well, I've always said to people when I do the interviews, like, I'm not. a famous musician. I'm not a rock star. I'm just a, average Joe who's had this amazing opportunity in front of him to put himself out there by doing this project Violet Breed. So that's actually my side hustle. So I have a normal job, but I go
Uh-huh.
out and play 2 to 3 times a week, and I do like 2 3 hour sets of what I would say are like, classic covers or like the traditional sort of bar
Right.
in pub songs, and again in an old school way. And that's what I guess I've kind of been taught from people like Brian and who I've met along the way. If you can't sing live and you can't play live, don't bother.
Right.
So I kind of got that sort of old school mentality where I put my guitar in the back of the car, take my PA, and I'll just go play. And
Uh-huh.
one, it's good money for me, but also it's such good exposure.
Right. Wow. Cool. Cool. You did
I love
Monsters of Rock?
I had never played. I just went to see it. It was
Uh-huh.
amazing on the cruise. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about, stuff like that.
yeah.
So what's the latest concert you attended?
Latest concert I attended was Paul McCartney
Uh,
in the O2 Arena in London, and I've been trying to see him for many, many years, but tickets just they're like gold
oh yeah.
dust.
Yeah.
But I was luckily was on the whatever the ticket site was in the queue for about an hour, and just slowly buffering, and boom, managed to get two. So that was an early birthday and Christmas present for me. And I have to say, it's just such a spiritual event. Like it's kind of surreal seeing a
Yeah.
Beatle in front of you.
Uh-huh.
And even though, he's 83, he might not sound as fresh as he did. But what do you expect? He's
Right. Yeah,
80,
yeah, yeah.
he's played for 3 hours. And there's like, there's songs in the set that you would think would be in it, like didn't play yesterday, didn't
Right.
play Rigby, but he's got such a huge catalogue. You just walk
Right.
away from it, you don't miss anything. It is an incredible thing to witness. And if there's any opportunity for people to go while you can, go.
Cool, cool. What are some of the songs that he did play?
So he did like the classics like Live and Let Die,
Right.
Blackbird, like a complete mix of like Beatles, Wings, and obviously his solo stuff. But
Right.
my personal highlights, he did Maybe I'm Amazed, which is
Uh-huh.
just amazing. He played, oh, what's that song I love? A Band on the Run,
Uh-huh.
which is just a masterpiece. Uh, Let Me Roll It,
Uh-huh. Cool.
amazing. And then he did a really early version of a Quarrymen song where it's like the first time the Beatles were ever recorded. So he played that. Honestly, it's hard to just like it's
Right.
3 hours. It just goes by because you're just what it feels like you're
Oh
watching your
yeah.
life go by. It's amazing.
I bet I'm sure it was even hard for him to pick what he wanted to play because so many good hits.
Yeah, I know. Like there, I was sat there thinking, is he going to do silly love songs? Is he going to do? Do you mean like? And he doesn't
Right.
do them. But you don't. But I didn't come away from the concert. I was like, oh no! I
Yeah.
come away at such a high. It was just amazing.
Cool, cool, cool. So let's get into a little bit of your album. When's it coming out? How many tracks? Can you tell me anything about what's coming up?
Well, at the minute, as far as I'm aware,
Uh-huh.
we have a large collection of work like done in terms
Right,
of like recorded, and we have quite a fast process because of the way how we work with me here. And
right,
we can record just like that. Like we were doing stuff last night. I was sat in this very spot. But in terms of an album, no idea, have no updates or no clue on what that will be. But I think we're kind of concentrating on the single market at the minute.
right.
So we've done Awake, we've done 10 Years Sober. Awake did really well on the SMR radio charts, and it got
Right,
a lot of exposure. And I think the project's so new, and
right,
it's so early on. And I think we're just seeing how it's going to flourish day by day. Do you know what I mean? We've got the second one out. I think obviously natural targets would be to maybe surpass what we achieved with Wake, but you
right.
just never know. So I think yeah, we're just concentrating on singles. We've got videos, but I would love to do an album one day. And my dream was to have it pressed on vinyl, then collect them all.
Yeah, yeah. Cool,
But yeah, no, you never know. But at the minute, it's just singles.
cool, cool. If you put out vinyl, is there any particular color you'd like it to be?
Absolutely. I want to have pressing number one, and I want it to be the same color as the logo. So that nice violet purple color.
Uh,
And yeah, I love collecting vinyls. I've got a wonderful Queen collection over there. So
cool.
I've never heard my. It sounds so silly, but I've never heard myself on a record player or put the needle on. I know that's kind of old school for a lot of
Right.
people, but I would love to have that experience, sit in this room and listen to myself on a record player. That'd be great.
Cool, cool. Well, that's what seems like everybody wants now. No one, I mean, there is people who want the CDs and downloads, but everybody wants the vinyl because they know they're not pressing like a lot of them. So, like,
Mm.
you want to make sure you have it in your collection, you
A
know?
big thing over here that I like to attend. I think you guys have it over there as well. So I think Tess did a release, but it's the record store days.
Right. Yeah, we have that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so like we have where I'm based. I'm about an hour away from London, but I live quite near a lot of like small towns and villages.
Right.
And these little independent record shops are just popping out of nowhere. I don't know if it's like a fashion thing or if it's becoming trendy, but it's
Right.
an amazing, as a music fan and love it, it's a great thing to be a part of because on that record store day you get in the queue and you want to try and get in there and get like there's only 10 of them and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's really cool.
Definitely. And it's even like collectors are all over eBay now, just typing in vinyl only. Not
Hmm.
like other stuff. Even cassettes are making a little bit of comeback. You
Yeah,
know.
I've actually bought a couple of cassettes recently because when you try and get tickets for gigs, like for like bands that I want to go see, like some like smaller bands,
Right.
they have a pre-sale, and with the pre-sale, you got to buy something off the shop to get
Right.
the code. So I'm always buying the cassettes because it's the cheapest thing. So I'm
Yeah.
just racking up a very small collection of cassettes now, just randomly, but they're there.
Cool. 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 You have any kind of merchandise available?
Not yet. Again, it's so early on, but again, that is something that I would love to really, get into one day, like Violet Breed t-shirts and hoodies. And like I said, at the McCartney concert, I love getting t-shirts at most of the gigs I go to. And it's like there's about 10 different ranges and colors. And yeah,
Right.
that'd
Yeah.
be a sort of dream come true as well.
Cool. 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 Do you feel putting out singles a little at a time is the way to go? Because it seems like a lot of bands are doing that now.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this question a lot, and I just feel like if you're people love music and you can't question people love for music, but for me personally, I love albums. Like if I'm gonna invest myself into a band or a project or an artist, I like to just put something on start to finish and have like a collection of 10 songs. But I think the way how it is these days is I don't know if people have got the attention span like maybe people used to. I don't
Right.
know. So
Yeah.
I think singles is the way that it kind of keeps people engaged randomly because it's little short clips but spread out across the time. And it makes no sense to me because I will
Right.
obviously I want the whole thing
Right. Yeah.
in terms of like a promotional thing, a social media thing. It kind of you can just work one song for about 4 months.
Right. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
like Awake came out in September and it's only just finished and we're in the new year. So we had that song going for 3 months and it lasted for 3 months. It was quite amazing. So with 10 years sober, you hope it lasts a bit longer and then you do the next one. But you never know.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So what's the prized possession of your collection?
Oh, well, I can show you if you want. I
Hey,
can pull it
show.
out.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go grab it. It's
Yeah.
literally just here. So I'll grab a couple. So I've got an original when they did the box set. I've got a Queen studio
Wow.
coloured vinyl, all the albums and coloured vinyl box set.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
thick, you know?
And then I've got an original. Where is it? It is going to be. Bear with me. Here it is. So obviously, when Freddie Mercury passed away, a
Right.
few years later, they did the Made in Heaven album where they
Uh-huh.
finished it off. As far as I'm aware, like in the '90s, vinyl kind of went a bit extinct.
Uh-huh.
So I've got an original Made in
Cool.
Heaven like vinyl
Wow.
first pressing. So that's that. They're probably my two like hardcore
Right.
Queen
Yeah.
things. But it's getting to the point now of the Queen collection where I've got like 5 copies of the same album because
Uh-huh.
one's got a different shade and one's like got the poster and one's from Portugal, one's from Italy. So that's how like zoned in on the vinyls I am now. But I want that picture now I've seen it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you a copy. you
Yeah,
know?
it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I got a whole bunch. I took maybe 100 shots I took that day, So like do you got any Freddie autographs?
Yeah, I mean, you're on my laptop.
Uh-huh.
I'm in my living room. I'm sat kind of like in a Freddie Mercury Beatles shrine.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, let me just unplug one thing.
Okay.
Hang, and then you can have a look.
So what's your
That's
favorite, Beatles or Queen?
probably Queen because that was my first actual introduction into music through my parents, and then
Right.
obviously you can't ignore the Beatles. So,
Oh
but
yeah.
hang on. So I've got like a hang on. I've got a Freddie Wall thing going on here.
Wow. That's cool.
Uh, Another one here. I think this is from one night of the Opera tour.
Wow.
And then I got some cool little bits. It might be a bit bright, but I got some cool bits from the Works tour as well.
Wow.
So yeah, I am, and there's my little Beatles wall behind me. So I am a serious music nerd.
Uh,
But who isn't? And if you're in a band, I mean, who isn't a nerd when it comes to that sort of stuff?
right, yeah. It's sad that people ain't gonna experience Freddie, you know?
No, I know. Like, I think with Queen, like, it's an amazing thing because they're so good. Like, at bringing the band into light with like the film. They
Uh-huh.
tour with Adam Lambert, and that's amazing. But
Right,
you're never going to experience what it was, and you have. I'll
right.
never experience that, so it must have been pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was.
Yeah.
So what is a dream come true for you?
Uh, Very simple. I would love to quit my day job, and if I could be a full-time musician, that'd be awesome. But to be honest with you, like that's probably just a generic thing. But as long as like at the minute, I'm so happy just to be creating and releasing original music. I know that sounds like not a lot,
Right.
but for me, for where I come from, like what I do day to day, it's a nice feeling. So I'm quite content just working with people like Brian and then Dave coming in to do bits and just putting out music at the minute. That is a dream come true, really, because it takes a lot to do it, you know,
Cool.
and yeah, it's a nice feeling just to be doing that. So
Wow. Imagine if you're doing this like 30 years later and just thinking back in the beginning days of your career and stuff like that. Like, it has to be
yeah,
something amazing. Yeah.
yeah, because I feel like right now, like I'm in this sort of phase where you have no idea what's going to happen. If something happens, amazing. If nothing happens, I'm just having a great time, you know?
Good, 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 good. Alex, congratulations, Violent Breed. Um, Congratulations on your two songs so far, and I look for more. And thank you for giving me a chat. And would you like to say
No,
anything to the fans out there?
if you haven't listened yet, check out the new single 10 Years Sober. It's on Spotify, Apple, all the streaming services, and on social media. And then if you want to dive more, you can check out the first single, Awake. So there's two songs out, which is awesome. So I appreciate it. And I thank you for having me on the show. It's been amazing.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye bye.